Hello guys and welcome to this particular video. My name is Will and I'm back with a really interesting walkthrough today. I made a post the other day highlighting the fact that an audio engine walkthrough is going to be coming soon. And here it is. This is going to be a very... I don't think this walkthrough is going to take that much time because I've already implemented my audio engine. I've implemented my audio engine on Parallax Engine, which is my 2D game framework. And you know what? I'm going to start by just demonstrating how this works. In this particular walkthrough, we're going to be looking at very simple audio playback. So nothing too fancy. We're not looking at like sound effects or like maybe dynamic sound, you know, like triggering sounds based on events. It's just going to be very simple playback of audio, streaming audio from disk. Well, rather retrieving audio from memory and from disk, and streaming from memory using .NET C#. So while I wait for UWP for my Parallax Engine to load, I'm running without debugging. Let me just walk you through some of the agenda today. Excuse me. So, what is Parallax Engine? For anyone who's kind of new to my channel, Parallax Engine is a .NET C# based game framework built to help .NET developers build efficient 2D games with fast turnaround times whilst achieving great performance on Windows UWP. Okay, so I got distracted. My window's open. Some stuff going on outside. Anyway, so audio engine summary. So Parallax Engine's audio streaming implementation, so what I've got so far that I'm going to show you guys, and just as a little bit of a tangent, this is a really great springboard for us to explore some more advanced audio features that we could implement, which I'll probably go into later on in this Parallax Engine series. But so Parallax Engine's audio streaming implementation is a simple dispatcher that leverages the media element class to play audio. So there's a class in UWP .NET C# called media element, and we're going to be using this media element class to take care of all our audio streaming. And so the media element is sufficient for simple background music use cases. So you can see that a file picker has come up. You can see that a UWP file picker has come up. My very rudimentary game scene has loaded just now. So I'm already in the music folder. I'm going to look for a sample. There was a sample I was looking for, can't see it. So I'm going to go to one of these folders. So as to avoid copyright issues, I'm going to actually load a backing track that I made myself. So YouTube, don't come after me. Where is it? Is it under drafts? It's like a bluesy thing. I'll play a little bit of it. So that just to demonstrate the audio. Which one is it? I think it's bar backing 1. I don't know. We'll wait a second for the API to catch up. Here we go. I can move around at the same time while the audio is still streaming. UI up. Okay, now let's close it. Here we go. So that is a demonstration of the audio engine that I've implemented into Parallax Engine. So I'm going to walk through how to do this, guys. For those of you who might be interested, either for your own audio features for your UWP apps, or if you happen to eventually get around to trying my Parallax Engine and you want to kind of be more familiar with the audio features. So what I started off doing, I'm not going to code it from scratch. I've already made the implementation. I'm going to just run through it, and this will probably save quite a bit of time. I'll run through the code and I'll have some comments on the performance and some other things, some other thought points I have using media element, as you can see there. All right, so you can do this all the implementation. So with the implementation, you can have all of the code on say one class, maybe like the main window class. But I decided to make 2 particular classes to help handle audio. And if we look on the Solution Explorer, I have Audio Engine, and I have the Audio Dispatcher, which I literally can't see. So I know it's up there, but I'm trying to look for here. Animated. Where's it gone? Super weird stuff. Render list, game states. It might be that I'm... Oh, that's seriously strange. Where's it gone? Not sure what's going on, guys. I'm crashing. Am I bugging? Am I bugging, guys? Parallax Engine UWP. My namespace. There it is. Sorry, guys. I thought I was bugging for a second. So it's, see, I made a little bit of a mistake. So this is actually a good opportunity to go through just a bit of code structure considerations. When I made the audio dispatcher, I put it in the Parallax Engine _UWP namespace, which is like the base project namespace. But for my audio engine class, I put it in my models folder, but they can still interoperate with each other, you know, just by referencing the correct namespaces. As you can see, I have this namespace, Parallax Engine, and then such and so forth, dot models. This is the models namespace. And the audio dispatcher I place just in the Parallax Engine _UWP namespace. So that's why I thought I was bugging for a second. I should really keep these two in the same namespace, but there's a little oversight on my part. So let's start with the audio engine. The idea of the audio engine, as I wrote here as a little note, is for me to set the audio files from disk in order to stream from memory and accessing the audio. So playing the audio, stopping the audio. It's that simple. We're just, to access the audio, we're just going to be accessing two main features, play and stop. In fact, I only demonstrate really play. Stopping the audio, I actually just terminated the program and the audio obviously stopped because of the way I'm handling the process, right? And the fact that, you know, the application stopped. So first things first, don't worry too much. Well, firstly, I'm going to say starting in the audio engine, don't worry too much about these two fields. Oh, as a quick heads up, if you guys want links to the source code or a link to the source code, let me know, and I can upload a particular file or page on my eStore on C# Snippet Store, and I can have this code base readily available for you guys to download for free. So if that's something you want, please let me know in the comments and I'll know to do that, okay? Otherwise, let's continue. So you want to declare, and I've instantiated a media element, as you can see here. I've got media element. I hope it's okay to read. I'm going to zoom in. There we go. So private media element equals new media element. So I'm instantiating this media element class. So now I have access to this class because I've instantiated it. We're going to look at what's going on here. So I have here an audio track list. Now this is a collection, a list of string, and this string is just file paths in case you want to load multiple audio tracks from disk. In this particular use case, I'm not really utilizing this for multiple tracks. It's just one track at a time, but you can still go ahead and instantiate this at field level if you want to. Media element list. I've got a collection of media elements, a list of media elements, because I thought to myself that it might be useful to stream multiple instances of media elements, basically handling audio. I'm only using one. I'm only dispatching one, should I say, instance of media element. Excuse me, guys. So you can use this media element if you think you may need the multiple instantiations depending on what you're doing. But for this use case, I only need one. And then this is a very necessary API. We need this Windows storage file class. We need this API in order to access the file itself, the audio track file in disk. Okay. For some reason, I have another media element here. I'm not too sure why, but yeah, the code's not 100% neat, but it's all here. Okay, so audio engine. I have a for loop here, and what this is doing, it's just going through my track list, or rather, I'm accessing my audio track list, this list of string holding the file paths of my tracks, and it's meant to populate it with the tracks themselves. This is a more dynamic approach if you want to do such. I don't need this because I'm only loading one audio at a time. This would probably load depending on how you want to concatenate. So let's see, if you had, the way this would work, the one really quick way I can see is that if you had, say, on your Solution Explorer for your files, right, like your music folder on your desktop, if your files were like this, my computer's kind of slow a little bit, but it's okay. If you had some audio files like this, 3.mp3, 4.mp3, you had like 5 audio files, 0 to 4, so that's 5 inclusive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. then you can literally, as long as the naming convention is like this, 0 up to 4, then you can just say for every, I'll demonstrate it here actually. For index, because index is the index here, counting through the for loop, access the toString function, right? Then concatenate the index as a string with the file extension .mp3. Boom. And then what you have here is a very simple way of accessing, like let's say you could have 1,000 audio tracks. As long as you name the convention in a predictable manner that your for loop can access, in this case it's just like 0 up to the maximum number, then you can literally load 1,000 tracks without having to write 1,000 lines of code. You would just need this, if that makes sense. Okay? I hope that makes sense. But because I'm only loading one, I don't really need this, but it's actually quite cool to see. So I'll just revert that back. String.empty. Okay, so media element list. Do excuse me. So I have this other list. Is this the same list? Audio track list. Oh, that's my empty one. Empty. What's going on? Oh, hello. Is it capital E? Yeah, it is. Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, so media element list add. Again, don't really need this because I'm just loading one track off my disk. You want to initialize file as no, and then here's where things start to kick off. So I have a function called initialize media components. Go ahead and make that function. I have it down here. Boom, right here. Private void initialize media components. I'm sure that's what I said earlier. So now, up to this point, we're in our audio engine class, but then we want to go ahead and go to our audio dispatcher class. Now, for the sake of just continuity, let's go through this class and then we'll see what we need to reference audio dispatcher, and then everything should work out. So audio dispatcher, you want to make this, as you can see, we're kind of statically accessing this because of the class declaration. Initialize media element list, and then we're passing media element list as a parameter. We're going to come back to how we're using this. Load soundtrack. Okay, guys, I'm not really going to explain this line by line. I'll just pick and choose. But I would like you to have a look at this. And you know what? Yeah, let's do it line by line. Why not? So var picker, which is our file picker, we're instantiating it. So we're instantiating this file open picker class, right, as a var picker. View mode, then we're setting all our configurations. So we want our file picker to be in thumbnail mode. We want the suggested start location to start in the music library, and the filter, so the kind of audio files we want, or the file types to filter down to on the file picker is MP3 and WAV. That's what all this block does, right? It's all under a try catch because things can go wrong at this point at runtime, and you want to obviously catch exceptions because it can be a bit weird when you're streaming. So Windows storage file. So we're instantiating our storage file class, and this is where it can get a bit confusing. If you don't know how to instantiate this properly, then you'll be getting errors and you're not going to know what's going on. So the way to instantiate the storage file class is like this. You want to then call the await keyword, and then you want to then follow up by picker, which is this file picker here, dot pick single file async. You want to access this function. Now make an if statement. If file is not equal to null, right? So if file, this class, is not equal to null, then you want to set your streaming logic. So here we have a var again, a var keyword type. We're going to declare this stream and we're going to instantiate it. Stream of type var is assigned to the await keyword applied towards this file accessing open async function, as you can see that. And then we're passing in the constructor of this we're passing as an argument here a Windows storage file access mode enumerated list, and then we're picking read. So it's only in read only mode, right? Then you want to set file, capital file, in this case, where's the capital one? Is it global scope? Is it global scope? Yeah, so in this storage file class in global scope, all we're doing is updating it, right? So we are this local scope file, storage file, we're just setting it to global scope here. And then what I've done here is in this track list, I've added the loaded track. So accessing via index track number, which here I've explicitly set to the value of track, which is probably set to 0. Once this function has been called, you pass it as a parameter here. And I set the file path of the audio track to this list, right? And then that's it for this bit. Playing track, quite simple. A few lines of code. So what we're doing, we're setting var stream. So another var type, we're going to declare a variable called stream. Instantiate stream. We're going to call the await keyword. I've used file open async function, and I've set again as a parameter this read flag in the file access mode enumerated list. As you can see, Windows storage file access mode dot read. And then I have kind of a static access to a list called media element list. Again, you can follow this one-to-one if you want. You're gonna see how I did this on the audio when we get to the audio dispatcher. But here you can see I've set this boolean to true, set source to stream file content type. So for now, just follow along with this. If you're writing the code as I'm going through, you're probably gonna get error at this point. But we're gonna go and we're gonna look into the audio dispatcher. We're gonna make the respective objects, and these errors should go away. And then I'm going to go down, and then you can set a control on your XAML. I have here button click to load the tracks, but as you can see, I actually set the invocation of the file picker at the constructor level. So when I hit initialize components, everything fires off, right? So that's why the file picker started when I initialized Parallax Engine. But you can use a button to do that if you want to. And then to stop the music, the audio. In my audio dispatcher, I have a function that I made called stop media element audio, and I have a reference to the track itself, right? So there is a button apparently, which I probably collapsed in the XAML so you can't see it. But then I have you have to, as you can see there, you pass the file path of the audio and the track number, and then in my audio dispatcher, we're going to see how that works, how that stops the audio. So let's go straight to the audio dispatcher. Again, really simple class, less than 100 lines of code. So what you want to do in the audio dispatcher now, we have here media element, and we have a static list of media element list. So you probably want to make both of these static if you're following through with this one-to-one. Then make a function, I've called this initialize media elements, and you're passing as a parameter a list of media elements. As you can see, a list of media elements. I named this list media elements control list, right? I probably don't need the control, but I thought it might be a XAML control, which it probably is. But anyway, whatever makes sense to you. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm instantiating this media element list that I have in global scope. Audio media is, let me see what I'm doing here. Audio media, let me go to definitions, I can't see it. So all this is that I made public properties to access my private fields. So audio media element list. You can do this at field level, but I decided to make public properties. So audio media, instantiate to media element. I set some properties. So this is looping property set to true. Volume I set to 1, which is I think maximum. And then there's a for loop. I've written here is a comment, populate the list. I'm populating the list holding the media elements for playing tracks. Media element list, add audio media, kind of similar to what I showed you at the beginning of this tutorial when we went through things with the code about like populating lists. So as you can see, everything's here. And then to play the element, to play the audio, when this function is invoked, we'll go through our list. As you can see, we would have passed the track as a parameter, so we have the track of our element, and we call the stop function, right? To source the track, we'll call the source function, the source property, and we set a new URI, and then we have the file path of the respective track, and obviously to play the track, we have play here, right? And then to stop the audio, we go to the media element list again, everything is stored in the list, and then we pass the track number as a parameter, as an index rather for our list, and then we call the stop function, as you can see. So if this is invoked, then I would be able to stop the audio whilst the application is still running. Earlier, I closed Parallax Engine and the audio stopped. But if you want to stop the audio while the Parallax Engine or your respective application is running, then you'll use a code similar to this. And then to pause the media, you can have media element list, which has the media element object stored in the list. You want to access that by index here, which you pass as a parameter, and you just access the pause function. And guys, that's about it. If you construct your classes similar to how I've done, then you would have implemented an audio engine, a very simple audio engine relying on media element. Okay guys, so this is a very simple walkthrough. I knew it wouldn't take that long, it's just about 20 minutes. Let me know if you would like to have references to the code, the source code. I will update my C# snippet store page. I'll have like a post or a page somewhere with the source code there, which you can access freely. So do let me know if you need it. If you want the source code, let me know in the comments so I am aware and I can update my site. Okay guys, and also I am taking commissions. So reach out to me on LinkedIn. I take commissions for game projects and development projects. So stay tuned for more Parallax Engine and Telefy, which is my Telegram server projects. Thanks guys, and have a great day. Bye.